Hello, everyone. I gotta admit, to be honest, my technology skills are not that good as much as I want them to be or at the level they should be. I grew up in a time before computers were for rich people. Not everyone had a cell phone. It was very expensive to even own a cell phone, right? It was really expensive to even own a cell phone. The majority of people
It was very
didn't have cell
expensive to
phones.
even own a cell phone, right?
Um, it was a different world, right? It was still typewriters. Um, I remember my father um, having a typewriter, right? I can remember my father having a typewriter and typing up his college papers. Um, and so times have changed, right? But I always hope and I'm hopeful that the morals of society haven't changed. We always said that the morals will evolve and things will get better. This is a story that's taking off, and I didn't think I would have to be covering it for a second day in a row. But this story is taking off big time. And as a practicing Catholic, all I'm hearing from people is the this story. My name is Celso Garcia, live from New York City. I'm broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, um, Switch, sorry, X, Instagram, Substack, and soon I'll be uh, coming over to TikTok, right? Uh, and the funny part is I have more followers on TikTok than all the other platforms, right? But TikTok doesn't like it when I do the type of work, when I do this type of work, right? TikTok doesn't like it. The algorithm gets suppressed, and I don't get that many followers because of the fact that there's certain topics that are sensitive, right? There's certain topics that are sensitive. So I admit that I'm not 100% um, good with technology, but I grew up in a different world where um, where um, it's basically I come from a different world, right? If you want to support the channel, the best way to support it is through the Cash App, $ Old Man Labor, or you can actually support it as best you can. I did not grow up as a Catholic, right? I did not grow up as a Catholic. I admit it, but I converted to Catholicism, right? I went through what they call RICA, which is the rite of initiation of Christian. Um, I forgot the last letter, but so I'm a convert, right? I converted to Catholicism as a I did never knew about much, and I studied the Bible. I studied um, the Christian Bible and the Catholic Bible, and I learned and I taught Catholic school for some time, and it basically uh, I learned a lot, right? Teaching Sunday school, learning about the Bible and how, you know, uh, the way Catholics do things, and I did it by choice, right? And got married through the Catholic Church, followed the teachings of the Catholic Church, and so, um, and the thing is, it was interesting because in the past I used to be an atheist, right? I didn't really believe in much. And through life experiences and struggles, I realized and admitted that there has to be a higher being, right? And the interesting part about it all is that also on top of that, um, believe it or not, my political leanings are democratic socialism, and I always argue that they're in. It's not a contradiction of Christianity, right? It's not a contradiction of religion because they work together, right? They work together to help provide a social way of helping people democratically, right? To have the means of being able to stretch every dollar to help as many poor people. And the existence of rich people is not something that we believe, right? We believe that they should be a shared wealth, right? As a Catholic, that people should share the wealth of the country and of the world. And we see it as a waste of resources if we're spending money, lots, large amounts of money on war, right? And on destroying other people and ending life, right? That uh, God is the only one that can decide who leaves this earth and who stays on earth. Who, He has your days numbered. But as adults and human beings, we shouldn't control the narrative of people's lives, and we should take it seriously, right? We should be uh, take care of the earth, right? We should take care of each other, our neighbors. The golden rule is one, love God above all things, and love your neighbor as you will love yourself, right? So these are the principles that we stick to. And so when the Pope is going around saying the things that he's saying, people should not be offended or upset or feel as if he's saying something that's totally different from what the gospel teaches, right? It's not. It's a fundamental Catholic belief that we should be peacemakers and we shouldn't cause war. Shouldn't cause rifts, not even within our own families or not even within our own society, right? So this story is right up my ballpark because I cover politics and New York City politics, New York State politics, national and international politics, right? So that's what I went to school for. And so the fact that they're claiming that the Pope is political is worrying, right? Because obviously, I was telling people in the Bible, Matthew 5, in the Sermon of the Mount, where the devil tempted Jesus and where there's the Beatitudes, how do you enter into the kingdom of heaven? You got to be a peacemaker. You got to be humble. You got to be, um, you know, um, uh, pray for the weak, weak, help the poor, you know, and speak. We have an obligation to speak up against war, and we have an obligation to speak up against those things that are considered uh, against whatever God teaches us, right? And so the Catholic Church is a large church. It's a lot of people in the United States, right? Millions and millions of people in the United States. And 55%, almost 55% of people voted for Donald Trump, right? A lot of Catholics voted for Donald Trump because they thought that he would be the better choice as far as um, life and respecting life, not going to war, starting new wars, Uh, and uh, so let's listen to this clip of the cardinal of a priest that has a political show. Let me see how many Catholics are in the U.S. And you could help the channel the best you can. I appreciate all your charity that you can give. So let me see how many. Um, so there are approximately 53 to 77 million Catholics in the United States. So there's about 19% of the to 22% of the adult population. And the Catholic Church is the largest religious body in 36 states, with a significant concentration in the South and West. All right, right. Approximately 20% of U.S. adults identify as Catholic, making it the second largest religious group after Protestants. Demographics: 54% are white, 36% are Hispanic, 4% are Asian, and 2% are black. And so historically, it's been concentrated in the Northeast, but the highest population growth for Catholics has occurred in the South and West. And a 2025 Pew Research Center study found that 40% of U.S. adults have a personal or family connection to Catholicism, including 9% who are cultural Catholics. While some reports suggest the number of Catholics has grown, the proportion of Catholics in the U.S. has declined from roughly 24% at the turn of the century to around 20% currently. Right? But with the new Pope, he has made a lot of changes, and the trend is starting to turn around again. And when they were talking about people living in fear because of immigration, the Pope spoke like that about that, right? Right? The popes, the bishops and cardinals spoke about that on the 60 Minutes show, right? That it's not right that people live in fear because of the things that Donald Trump is doing, right? It's not right that people live in fear as a result of what Donald Trump is doing, right? So think about it. It's not something that most Catholics um, uh, want to want to think about, right? They want to be respected. They want people's religion to be respected, and even Muslims or people of other religions want everyone's religion to be respected, irrespective if they practice this religion or not. Because easily, if they insult one person's religion, then they're gonna be willing to insult other people's religion, right? That's just a reality. That's just a reality. If they're willing to insult one person's religion, then they're willing to insult everyone else's religion. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button. Um,
Catholics from the progressive side to the traditional side were appalled by the president's attacks on the Pope because they were so mean.
okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me adjust something. So the reality of it all is that Catholics are a very large percentage of the population of the United States of America. So disrespecting 20% of Catholic of the people that live in this country is a bad look for the president. It's a bad look for JD Vance. It's a bad look that's Catholic. It's a bad look, and a lot of people have been very quiet. Even Republicans have been quiet. They haven't been wanting to get involved in this conflict.
spirited, so personal, so outrageous that it is really, kind of an attack on the church because the Pope is the visible representative of the church. And I think people feel Catholics feel that they are being attacked as well. So really very personal, very mean spirited, and also, as I said, unhinged. Catholic
Do you agree?
from the progressive side to the traditional side were appalled by the president's attacks on the Pope because they were so mean spirited, so personal, so outrageous that it is really, kind of an attack on the church because the Pope is the visible representative of the church. And I think Catholics feel that they are being attacked as well. So really very personal, very mean spirited, and also, as I said, unhinged. Catholics from the progressive side to the traditional side were appalled by the president's attacks on the Pope because they were so mean spirited, so personal, so
So and it's like all the Pope did was speak about war and say that he's against the war, and that was enough to get Trump upset, and Trump was really upset about it. Trump was real upset, so upset that he just lashed out at the Pope. He really lashed out at the Pope and started to attack him personally. And then he said it was it was a joke. He wrote it off as if whatever the picture he did and how he depicted it, right? How he depicted the Pope was not a big deal, right? It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't something that people should get upset about because it was just a joke. Um, Trump said he thought he was depicting himself as a doctor because he heals people, and he didn't know it was him being depicting himself as Jesus Christ. But everyone should have known that he was attacking um, one of the largest religions in the country, 20% of the population. And so that's
I mean, how egotistical can you possibly be? I'm ashamed that he would actually do that. A man I voted for and trust. That's a disgrace. I'm very upset about that. I mean, how egotistical can you possibly be? I'm ashamed that he would actually do that. A man I voted for and trust. That's a disgrace.
so. You think they're overblowing it? Some people are saying the media is overblowing it. They make a big deal out of a joke. It's just a joke. It's not something that he should take seriously, right? Um, that no one should take it seriously. But why not take it seriously? Somebody put in their um, tweet, what if Joe Biden would have done this? What if Joe Biden would have done this? People would have been in an uproar demanding that Joe Biden's brain get checked and that his mind get checked, right? Everyone will be saying, get this man's brain checked. Whatever he's saying is nuts. Whatever he's doing, or, you know, get him checked out, right? And so the double standard exists, right? In politics, the double standard exists in society, right? And so people trying to make it funny, right? So it's, but to a lot of Catholics is a serious issue, right? And John Stewart says that's him in the image, right? Let's see what he says. Is that him?
Am, am I okay? Wait, the guy in the bed, can I just. Are you.
Is that him? He's saying that's him in the bed. It looks just like him, the image that Trump shared, right? Because he doesn't like these late night comedians. He doesn't like Jon Stewart. He doesn't like them at all, right? So Jon Stewart's like, hey, is that me? Is Trump going crazy on me? Is he trying to say something? Is he trying to say something? Why would he use his image? Right? Why would he use his image to speak about it? And this is a story that got away from them, right? And so JD Vance, so, and this is what the Pope is doing. He's showing Trump a different point of view, right? The Pope is moving on with his life. Trump is fuming, and this is what the Pope is doing today. This is what the Pope is doing. He visited the third largest mosque in the world, and showing that all religions should be respected. This is probably getting Trump really upset, right? How dare him? He's signing, right? That he visited the third largest mosque in the world, right? In Algeria. And so this is probably getting Trump fuming, right? How could he do this? How could he respect other people's religion? How could he, not care about Trump or be sweating whatever Trump is doing and whatever Trump is saying, right? How could he not be upset with him? right? How can he not be sweating the little stuff? Trump is still feuding, right? So everyone, double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Thank you for your support on this channel. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and hit up the cash app, $5, $2. That help the channel. And so supporter, his own supporters are now turning on him, right? This is Megan Kelly, big time supporter of Trump, that turned on him and now is like blasting him, and he's tweeting about her.
I don't know what he's doing, but the president is spiraling downward in his poll numbers. He is on a downward spiral now. And we'll talk about in a minute what's happening with the white working class. That's Trump's base. And he's now underwater with them. We saw one poll about 7 to 10 days ago showing it. And now there's another. There's no question. He's collapsed now with the white working class. My friends, that's it. Other than Fox News boomers, there's no one left. There's no one left in the original MAGA coalition. White working class? I really look forward to the people who purport to speak for the white working class.
And so he pretty much is losing everyone with the gas prices and the grocery prices and the money not being worth much. He pretty much lost the majority of the population with his nonsense, right? Just straight up. I never supported
People who
Trump,
have written whole books.
but I don't want to tell people, but I told you so. I told you he was going to be a disaster for this country. I told you. He doesn't have it in him anymore. He just doesn't have it in him. But you insisted being hard headed and being bold and saying, no, give him a chance. Give him a chance. And now you can't, you crying. You crying because he disrespected a lot of people's religion. He lied about the war. He said it was going to be a short war. He said no more wars, right? He said no unlimited wars. We're going to take that money and we're going to invest it in the country and we're going to invest it in you. And instead, he gave a huge tax cut to the rich, a huge tax cut, and then everyone else he just doesn't care. And I've been saying it for a long time, and people have been getting upset. That's not true. That's not true. And so, after not wanting to back down from his stances, now he has no choice but to back down, right? He has no choice but to back down, right? So, AOC has a good take on this, right? She has a good take on this. And so she posted on her Instagram account an account of um, her things that happened to her.
um, Where is she? And so I go down and I thought I was going to die.
We're looking for her, the January 6th attack.
And I had a lot of thoughts. You have a lot of thoughts. I think when you're in a situation like that. And like also one of those thoughts that I had was, I just happened to, be a spiritual person and be raised in that context. And I really just felt like, if this is the plan for me, then people will be able to take it from here. I had a lot of thoughts, but that was the thought that I had about you all. I felt that if this was the journey that my life was taking, that I felt that things were going to be okay.
She's talking about being attacked on January 6th, and they were looking for her, and they were like screaming for AOC, for her to come out, and that they were looking for her. There were certain politicians that they really wanted, that they were really thirsting for, right? And AOC was one of them that the January 6th attackers were looking for, right? And so now we put this guy in power again, and now you realize that maybe he wasn't all there, right? He wasn't all there. Right?
Like I'm here, and the bath.
And then so there's some fallout, right? In diplomatic circles, we're being seen as the laughing stock. Right? They see us as a laughing stock. And finally,
that I don't think it was being received in the same way he intended it. He agreed and he pulled it.
So one Republican is now, after a full day of heat and blast from so many people, one person, it has now decided that he's going to speak about the whole situation, right?
Speaker Johnson, can I ask you about the president's post depicting himself as Jesus? Was it blasphemy?
I talked with the president about it as soon as I saw it, and told him that I don't think it was being received in the same way he intended it. He agreed and he pulled it down. That was the right thing to do. He explained how he saw that, and I don't think he thought it was sacrilegious at all. So,
do you think he should back down?
I think he showed great respect to others.
Speaker Johnson, can I ask you about the president's?
And it wasn't even. He's like, he doesn't want to criticize the president, and that's sad, right? Right? It's the Republicans are just not willing to. Only like a few, maybe one or two, are willing to criticize Donald Trump, but they won't criticize him. They won't say anything negative about him. They won't attack him. They won't say nothing. I mean, in the sense of words, right? They won't criticize Trump. Isn't that worrying to you? That they're not willing to criticize the president of the United States, their Congress. They have oversight duties over the president. They have checks and balances that they have to always remember that the branches are co-equal branches. They have to be willing to criticize him and say things how he thinks it's right, right? Um, should I kind of? You got to start setting up, right? Huh? You can do it here. Huh? Do it here. Okay. So they could start criticizing the president, right? And so it should always be a criticism, right? No one should be immune from criticism or for saying the truth or speaking the truth. Everyone, hit the like button, hit the share button. I appreciate you all. This is a bizarre world we live in. I appreciate your support, right? And if you want to criticize me, attack me, go ahead. Write it in the comments because we should have freedom to do that in this country, right? I'll take it in stride. I'll take it in stride because I should be able to handle it, right? Let me hear him again because he's probably gonna say, "I did criticize him. I did criticize the president." Let's listen to that clip again.
Speaker Johnson, can I ask you about the president's post depicting himself as Jesus? Was it blasphemy?
I talked with the president about it as soon as I saw it, and told him that I don't think it was being received in the same way he intended it. He agreed and he pulled it down. That was the right thing to do. He explained how he saw that, and I don't think he thought it was sacrilegious at all. So,
Do you think he should back down?
I think he showed great respect to others by removing it.
Speaker Johnson, can I ask you about the president's post depicting himself as Jesus? Was it blasphemy?
I talked with the president about it as soon as I saw it, and told him that I don't think it was being received in the same way he intended it. He agreed and he pulled it down. That was the right thing to do. He explained how he saw that, and I don't think he thought it was sacrilegious at all. So,
Do you think he should back down?
I think he showed great respect to others by removing it.
Speaker Johnson, can I ask you about the president's post depicting himself as Jesus?
So he didn't really criticize him. He just told him that it wasn't received the way he thought it would be received. In other words, um, he's not willing to criticize the president. He's not willing to attack the president. He's just gonna continue the path of least resistance, right? He's gonna continue the path of least resistance and not attack the president personally or make him feel bad. We wouldn't want to hurt the president's feelings, right? We wouldn't want to hurt the president's feelings or say something negative about him. Thank you for the like, everyone. Hit the like on Facebook, YouTube, uh, Twitch, X, Instagram, and Substack. I appreciate you. And if you want to support the channel, the best way to support the channel is through the Cash App, which is $ Old Man Labor. $ Old Man Labor, which is my, my nickname. Right? I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. It's just a crazy world. This story has been on day two of this story. It has just taken off and it hasn't stopped. This story has not stopped. The president wants it to go away, and I'm sure now he's thinking about it. His tweet, I'm sure now he's thinking about that tweet, like he messed up. But he has a weird way of showing his point of view, right? He doesn't want to say he messed up. He doesn't want to admit he messed up. He just wants people to just move on. It's sort of like the Epstein thing. He just says, move on. That's it. Stop talking about it. Move on. That's the macho man, bravo um, type of guy, right? The macho man, Randy Savage. Macho and don't dare um, question whatever he says. So let's see um, what this guy has to say. So now um, Trump just got into a fight that he can't back down from. Have you ever heard Trump apologize to anyone?
He has 69% support among Republicans, 75% support more or less among Democrats. Those are numbers that any politician. From all the data I see, Pope Leo is the most popular American, and he's actually the most popular figure globally. He has 69% support among Republicans, 75% support more or less among Democrats. Those are numbers that any politician would die for. But no,
Not a partisan. He doesn't take sides. He just says what's right. He doesn't care. He doesn't care who he offends. He's not trying to be politically correct. Despite what they're trying to say, he's not trying to be politically correct. That's not what popes do. Popes don't try to be politically correct. They try to just stick to the Bible, stick to teachings, and as much as people want to get upset, right? So so now trying to work together is not bad, right? This is the picture that was deleted by Trump. Why delete it? Why delete it? Why not just own up to it and let people know, hey, I screwed up. That's it. I screwed up. I should have not done this. He has the Statue of Liberty. He has the bald eagles. Um, I mean, it's it's a bizarre depiction. It's a bizarre depiction, and if you haven't seen it yet, if you haven't seen it yet, this is the depiction that Donald Trump posted, along with a huge tweet, a long tweet, a very long tweet that he didn't delete. I don't think he deleted it, but it was a huge, long tweet bashing the Pope and bashing him for being too political, right? So, is this the right approach, everyone? Is this the right approach? Um, I don't know if this is the right approach, but Marjorie Taylor Greene and Roll Khan of California, Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, have announced that they're going to work together.
Epstein files, and it was incredibly important. And there's also issues such as funding foreign government. About the reason why we're having this discussion is Ro Khanna and I both are willing to say that the current center of right and left that have been coming together for decades have failed Americans. And Ro and I, just like he said, we're completely different. I'm unapologetically pro-life. I'm against the trans agenda on children. I'm against the Green New Deal. I'm for very secure borders and a strong economy and a smaller government. But the current center, right, and left that coalition in America have got us in $40 trillion in debt, have funded foreign war after foreign war after foreign war, and now funding another one. And they will be, and we don't know how long this will go. And it's gotten to a point where Americans can't afford life, Caitlin. And so Ro and I, we exchanged comments on social media saying that we recognize how for the left and the right to come together and find issues that we can work together on. But Ro and I did.
Is this the Liz Cheney moment where Kamala Harris brought Liz Cheney into her campaign and decided to work with her, and it backfired tremendously? Is this that moment for Ro Khan? I thought he was gonna be fight harder, right? But he kind of caved in. Even the Daily Mail criticized Donald Trump. And it's just a hate. So this is the mindset that people have, right? In the right? They just find something to hate about every day. Zoran, they just hate on him so hard. They just try their hardest to hate on him. Listen to him.
Talks about affordability. He's not going to make things affordable. He's going to drive out businesses, drive out entrepreneurs. People are not going to want to do business there. People are not.
These are the same people that on Fox that refuse to criticize Donald Trump, right? They refuse to criticize Donald Trump, but they go hard on Zoran.
Going to be able to do business there, whether they're individuals or whether they're large multinational corporations. They're going to go somewhere where they can actually function and conduct commerce. He just opened his first government-run food store. I saw a picture of it today. Okay, that is a city of 8 million people. He's opened his first little government-run food store. Yippee-doo. That won't last. It's paid for by the people. He says it's more affordable. Well, the people are paying for everything. You are paying for everything. Those of you who are in New York,
It's not free. You still pay for stuff. It's
in
just
other
going to
words,
be
he's
cheaper.
redistributing wealth. Now, if you like this little clip that you just saw, please head over to YouTube and subscribe, or Rumble and follow, and tell everybody you know. So now we have a Mondami in New York who talks about affordability. He's not going to make.
So they're willing to criticize Zoran, but they're not willing to criticize Trump. And what has Zoran done? Try to bring down prices, try to make the city affordable for everyone, and instead, so
for the president.
this is a bishop that criticized him heavily last year, right?
When I've sat at services at the National Cathedral, which of course occur every week, but also at particularly elevated moments of our collective national life,
Let's watch this.
Our
Watch
prayers for the president, whoever, it's always been a he, but whoever he may be at that moment. When you pray for this president, what do you pray for?
Well, when I pray for anyone, particularly someone that I don't know personally, and that I do not understand, I tend to leave the prayer in the will of God. Like I pray for him as I pray for anyone, that the will of God and the love of love of God would surround him, would inform him. I do pray for compassion. I pray for awareness. I pray for his capacity to understand the implications of his actions, which have the power to affect matters of life and death for literally hundreds of thousands
You know who
of people
this
every
is,
day.
right? You know who that priest is, right? You know who she is, right? She did this last year.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
We're all once strangers in this land.
May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and
Like,
walk
I can
humbly
really
with each
put
other
stuff.
and our God for the good of all people, the good of all people in this nation and the world.
She went hard on Trump.
That was Bishop Marion Edgar Buddy doing what so few legacy news outlets, so few tech companies, so few billionaires, so few CEOs are willing to do, and that is to use her platform to speak truth to power and to do it fearlessly. I know that the Elon Musks and Jeff Bezoses and Mark Zuckerbergs of the world love to talk about how masculine they are. This bishop showed more balls in 3 minutes than the 3 of those men have in the last decade combined. And let's be clear, what she's explaining here is not a foreign concept for people who call themselves Christians. Showing empathy or caring about families is quite literally what Christianity is predicated on. And yet you can see on the faces of J.D. Vance and Donald Trump that being asked to follow these principles is deeply uncomfortable. Vance can hardly maintain eye contact. In fact, the whole Trump family seems to be crawling out of their skin when the president is told to follow the most basic tenets of the very religion that they claim to adhere to. And let's admit that we all had the exact same thought while we were watching this. And that's the last time Trump is going to end up at this church. And think about how pathetic that is. This guy is so weak, so fragile, so thin-skinned that because a bishop dared suggest he show empathy, God forbid, in accordance with the stated values of his own religion, that he won't go back. For anybody who claims to support this guy, what part of what Bishop Buddy said was incorrect? What part was...
Bishop Buddy tore him a new one, right?
antithetical to the teachings of the church? What part of the Bible says that immigrants should be deported or that families should be ripped apart? Take all the time you need with that one. And that's why, by the way, when Donald Trump was asked what he thought about the service, well, this is what he had to say.
What did you think of the service? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it?
This is crazy, right? Crazy. Crazy beyond pale.
I did think it was a good service. No. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. A cathedral, which of course occur every week, but also at particularly elevated moments of our collective national life. There often are prayers for the president, whoever, it's always been a he, but whoever he may be at that moment. When you pray for this president, what do you pray for?
Well, when I pray for anyone, particularly someone that I don't know personally and that I do not understand, I tend to leave the prayer in the will of God. Like I pray for him as I pray for anyone, that the will of God and the love of God would surround him, would inform him. I do pray for
him, not at him.
Compassion. I pray for awareness.
Compassion for each
awareness. I pray for his capacity to understand the implications of his actions, which have the power to affect matters of life and death for literally hundreds of thousands of people every day.
All right.
This is crazy, right? So she's saying she's not attacking him personally. She just talking about the gospel. Same thing the Pope said. And I think she's a Presbyterian bishop. I think she's Presbyterian, which is the church that Trump attends. Is it not? Right? So instead he decided not to show up to Easter services and be aggressive against anyone that criticizes him. He has to have a thicker skin than that, right? A lot thicker, a thicker skin. If he's going to be president, you can't get upset about every little thing that people do, right? I appreciate you all. If you want to hit up the Cash App, $ Old Man Labor. Thank you, $ Old Man Labor. I appreciate you all. Um, so, should who should back down? Who should be the bigger person? At the end of the day, Trump doesn't seem to care about what the Pope is saying. He just doesn't like anyone criticizing him or having the appearance of a criticism of whatever he does, right? It's hard for him to be who he says he is, right? All right, let's see. JD Vance is JD Vance is not helping Trump. He's going around trying to defend Trump, and he's doing a horrible job at it. Let's listen to JD, Vice President Vance. I don't even know what to call him, but let's listen. So let me play this clip of JD Vance acting like a complete moron, right?
Like, for example, I recognize that a lot of young voters don't love the policy that we have in the Middle East. Okay, I understand that. And I've seen some of this, on various issues. Like for example, I recognize that a lot of young voters.
So a lot of young voters
don't love the policy that we have in the Middle East. Okay, I understand that. And I've seen some of this, on various issues. Like for example, I recognize that a lot of young voters don't love the policy that we have in the Middle East.
they hate it about that.
Okay, I understand.
They don't like to be called to a battle or to a war that they don't know what they're doing there. Okay. JD Vance is a total mess, right? He doesn't know what to do. Trump sends something out, a tweet, and then he's here doing the interviews to try to assure people that whatever they did was a good thing, right? Okay. And let's check this out. Let's check this out, people. I like the bishop blasting Trump. And so, what's he going to do about it, right? So, JD Vance is getting worse and worse. So, he got booed at Turning Point USA. JD Vance got booed at Turning Point USA. This is his base. These are the people that voted overwhelmingly for Trump. And I don't think JD Vance will be able to run for president if Donald Trump's popularity is this bad, right? No, that's not the right clip. All right, let's listen to this. JD Vance gets booed. JD Vance had a brutal.
Like the administration that solved the problem, but the president. Excuse me, sir. Right now, like the administration that solved the problem, but the president. Excuse me, sir. Right now, like the administration that solved.
How do you get over that? Somebody's there screaming at him, saying, "You're killing children in Iran. You're killing children." You know, and they're screaming at JD Vance in the crowd, letting him know what he's doing and how he's not a good person, right? How he's not a good person. So hit the like button, everyone. Hit the share button. I appreciate you all. And this battle, this battle is not gonna stop. they being we have a war that's unjustified, a war that we're gonna keep speaking out against, um, as Catholics and as Americans and as people that don't believe in unjustified wars and don't believe in wars overall. Um, we need answers, and this administration is not the right answer for this. They're not the ones that are gonna give us the truth about what they're doing, right? So Congress has to be stronger and seek out their their ability to put checks and balances on on these people, right? Especially on the Trump administration and on JD Vance. But thank you. I appreciate your time, and I'm gonna see you later. I'll be back on later, okay? Thank you for streaming with me. I'll be back on, okay? Thank you. Have a good night. I'm Celso Garcia, um, live from New York City. I appreciate you for joining me. Thank you so much. Um, I hope that you hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the Twitch subscribe, get a subscription on TikTok, wherever you are. Um, support the channel. $ Old Man Labor, Old Man Labor, right? If you want to support the channel. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. I'll see you soon, everyone. I'll be back on later. All right, thank you. Hold on, before I sign off, let me just check something. And now JD Vance, I guess Donald Trump told him why he being soft. Clips are coming out. These comments are terrible. Listen to these comments. I'll be back in 1 minute. I'll be right back, everyone. Listen to this video. Watch this video.
The side of those who wield the sword. I'm pretty sure that he said that exact statement. Now, on the one hand, again, I like that the Pope.
Listen to the
look,
JD
certainly
Vance
things that the Pope
messing
said
things
the
up
last
again,
few months that I
screwing
disagree
things
with.
up.
Let me just take like one very concrete example.
I'll be back on later, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Related to this conflict in Iran. So the Pope said something where he said, and I'm going to try to remember the exact quote, but he said that.
I don't know. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'll be back on later. Have a good day. Have a good night. Thank you for your support. Everyone, have a good day. Thank you for supporting me and my channel.